Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. This is a course on sociolinguistics, and I think at the very outset of the course, it would be a very good idea to introduce and to talk about the term sociolinguistics. I hope at the end of this session, you would be able to understand what does the term sociolinguistic mean and how does it operate in the field of language and linguistics. Well, my dear students, what we need to think about is what the term sociolinguistic consists of and what are the contents or the materials or the areas of study that fall under sociolinguistics. I think if you simply think about the word itself, it is a combination of two words, social and linguistics. The first part of it, socio, comes from social, which pertains to the society and to the culture, whereas the second part, linguistics, that is the study of language, makes it a complete term, sociolinguistics, thus enabling us to understand that this is the descriptive study of the effect of any and all of the aspects of society, including cultural norms, values, beliefs, etc., on the way language is used by the people in any particular society. Well, it is also important to understand that sociolinguistics is different from another term, that is sociology. Sociology, or sometimes called sociology of language, focuses on the effect of language on society. So, this is a totally opposite process. Sociology focuses on the effect or the impact of language on society, whereas sociolinguistics looks at how society impacts or influences linguistic choices. In terms of historical context, it is closely related to linguistic anthropology. It is so very closely related to anthropology that sometimes it is really difficult to distinguish the two. Sociolinguistics also studies how language varieties differ amongst different groups of people, amongst different cultures, and how there are different social variables such as ethnicity, religion, status, gender, level of education, or age that affect linguistic choices. Furthermore, as a discipline, it focuses on how creation and adherence of these linguistic rules that different groups of society use or that different groups of society operate according to, how all these are created and how they place people, how they place individuals, or how they place groups within the broader spectrum of the society. Well, my dear students, William Labov is known as the founder of sociolinguistics, and his major contribution is in terms of quantitative studies in sociolinguistics. He examined and analyzed language variations from and language changes from quantitative perspective. Today, sociolinguistics has become a recognized part of most of the courses at universities and college levels, and it is a part of the departments or the schools at universities that deal with linguistics and language. Sociolinguistics is indeed one of the main growth points in the study of language, because today there is a very strong realization that language is very closely linked to society and it cannot be studied out of the context of the society. We also notice today that teaching of language is also related to sociolinguistics, and not only the research in the teaching area, but also in the area of pure research in sociolinguistics is done widely. Today we would find that there are a lot of major English journals that are devoted to the study of sociolinguistics, which include a few names that I have given you here on the slide. You can see Language and Society, Language Variation and Change, and International Journal of the Sociology of Language. In fact, if we look at the historical development of sociolinguistics, it started somewhere in 1960s with Labov's work. However, we cannot say that 1960s was the time of the invention or the creation of the field, because a lot of work had already been done in sociology and sociology of language, which in fact gave way to the creation of sociolinguistics as a particular discipline. So the question arises, what is new in the widespread interest in this area of sociolinguistics? Actually, what is new is the realization that sociolinguistics can throw light not only on the nature of language, but also on the nature of society by looking at the type of language and the ways how language is used in that society. Like other subjects, sociolinguistics is partially empirical and partly it is theoretical in nature, which means it can be a desk study and it can involve experimentation as well. Which also means sometimes sitting on a desk, the researchers would examine certain aspects of the relationship of language and society, but at other times they would go out and they would look at how it is being used in the culture or the society where they want to look at it. So basically, in the study of sociolinguistics, different approaches can be taken. The initial approach is of armchair approach, which is based on the collection of facts through a systematic way as a part of research. Simply, it is based on one's own experiences. In a way, to start or to begin with research in sociolinguistics, looking at your own experiences and trying to analyze them can be a good beginning. However, looking at language that is a body of knowledge or rules and speech that is actually the utterances, these are two different things, because how practically people utter words or phrases or sentences and how they practically use language is a very, very important part of its study. To study the speakers, who is the speaker, what is the age of the speaker, what is the ethnicity of the speaker, what is the cultural background, that also becomes important. Not only the speaker, but also the addressee, the listener, to whom something is said. What is the age or the culture or the gender or the education or any other variable for that matter of the addressee, that also matters. It also matters what is the topic of conversation, what is the topic on which somebody is using that language. So sociolinguistics considers all these aspects while studying the relationship between language and society. Armchair approach can somehow be dangerous in certain ways, and there are particularly two reasons for that. A, because it focuses on personal experiences, so it narrows down the scope. So sometimes, personal experiences can lead towards seriously wrong interpretations. Secondly, why it is wrong is because most of us are not consciously aware of the vast range of varieties that are spoken around us. So, if as a sociolinguistic researcher, I do not have the knowledge of a particular culture or a particular variety or its existence, this does not mean that it does not exist. And, apart from that, because personal experience is very, very limited, the findings of personal experience cannot be generalized. However, over the times, a lot of interest has grown in sociolinguistics, and especially during the last couple of decades, we can notice that a lot of achievements are made through this armchair theorizing, because empirical discoveries made in the course of systematic research projects have contributed over the last 2 decades. As far as applications of sociolinguistics are concerned, in fact, sociolinguistics relates to almost all the disciplines. Why? Because every discipline is based on practically the use of language. So be it the business or professional language or the language of a particular ethnicity or a group, it can be helpful. Sociolinguistics might also study grammar, phonetics, vocabulary, or any other aspect of language with relation to a particular group of people or with relation to a particular culture.